What's up, everyone? Oh my gosh. Spyro is finally back, and it's better than ever before. Like, look at this game. This is the very first Spyro on PlayStation 4 Pro, and my gosh, it looks very sharp and very crisp and all of that stuff. So, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed this live stream at the end of the video, please hit a like. And also, guys, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and comment down below. But let's get this started. So today is finally the day that Spyro the Reignited Trilogy has finally launched. I have been waiting so much for this game, and literally, this is like awesome as heck. Now, with my plans for the next remaster or remake of, Spyro related from Activision, I am actually hoping that the next Spyro set of Spyro games or Spyro game or whatever is technically the other Spyro trilogy. And I know most of you guys are probably there's going to be quite a bit of you that are going to wish that Activision has this plan, but I know it's about even. I know that like 50% of you guys are not going to want them to redo this, and the other 50% of you guys are going to want Activision to redo this, this franchise. But what my hope is for the next remake, if they're planning on remastering or remaking more Spyro games, is I hope they actually do the Legend of Spyro trilogy. Now, a lot of people didn't really like the Legend of Spyro trilogy like they did with the original, but I actually got a lot of talk on that there was still quite a bit of people that really, really like the Legend of Spyro trilogy, to where it's enough for them to remake that franchise. Which, I would prefer the Legend of Spyros more than I would for the original, but I am a big heart loving person of Spyro no matter what it is. No matter if it's on the worst Spyro game ever that had so many bugs, such as the Enter the Dragonfly, which it was not really all that complete like everybody was, wanting it to be. But, I still like Spyro no matter what. Like, I didn't even beat Enter the Dragonfly, but I honestly did like A Hero's Tale. And then after that was when they had the Legend of Spyro trilogy. Now, you're probably wondering, like, why do I like the Legend of Spyro trilogy more than I do the original? Which, personally, I am so freaking happy that they redid the three originals. But, the reason of why I really, really like the Legend more than the original trilogy is because, well, the gameplay was more action-packed, and the story was like, a little bit like it had more of like a story to it, of a story filled than what the original three did. But not saying that the original three Spyros had a story to them, because technically they did, but like it had more of a story where you had more cutscenes, and you just followed the path on where you had to go and stuff like that. But also, like I was saying, the Legend of Spyro trilogy had more action packed. So Spyro was like, he was out there and defeating all these enemies and stuff. And unlike, just throwing out a flame fire and they're dead and you just collect a gem, it was like an action pack where you would have to kill them physically and keep hitting them until their health went down. And then as soon as they die, it was like, you would have so many gems to like power up, or, like health, and then like powers and stuff like that. It was just a great experience, especially for me. It actually was. Now, like I said, I love Spyro no matter what it's on. Like, even if it's on the worst game of the franchise that everybody talks and says that it's the worst, such as, Enter the Dragonfly. But I still played the original trilogy, and I still personally love the original trilogy of Spyro. Like I said, I am very happy that they redid the original trilogy. Like, because I mean, it's their first way of thinking that bring Spyro back, and then also to think about it, this is the 20th anniversary year for Spyro the Dragon. Because if you think about it, the very first Spyro game released back on the PlayStation 1 back in September of 2000, or not 2000, 1998, I meant to say. And if you really think about it, it really makes so much sense for them to do the first ones because it was like the 20th anniversary. Now, they could possibly be taking their time and redo the Legend of Spyro trilogy and possibly, waiting till like 2026 for its 20th anniversary. Because if you think about it, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, or not Enter the Dragonfly, A New Beginning is one I meant to say, was actually released back in I forget which month it was, but I'm pretty sure that it was released back in 2006. So if they're planning on releasing the Legend of Spyro trilogy on the year of 2026, even though that's still like 8 years away, that'll be the 20th anniversary for the Legend series. But if they are planning on remastering the Legend of Spyros, I could probably assure you that it's probably going to be sooner than that. It's probably going to be within the next couple of years, because this game is more than likely going to honestly sell so well like the Crash Bandicoot honestly did. Like, Crash Bandicoot first initially released on PlayStation 4, and it was like, the best-selling game for like the first 4 to 5 months that it was released. So as soon as it released, it was like the best-selling game for each of the months from like June all the way to October. But that's probably what's going to happen with Spyro. Now, I could be wrong, and Spyro may not do as good as Crash, because when they first initially launched back on the PlayStation 1 days, Crash actually did sell more than what Spyro did. But I love both franchises, but personally, I'd love Spyro just an edge more, because Spyro is like, it's 3D, as you can tell, where if you play Crash Bandicoot, it's technically like where you just go to all these levels and you're doing them as by foot, and you just go through the levels, and then once you beat it, you go to the next level. But with Spyro, it's more 3D world compact, where they have each different lands, and they're massive, like especially this one that I just entered a few minutes ago. As you can tell, it's pretty massive for just a world as itself and all that stuff. But there is something that I do want to talk a little bit about that's kind of bullshit with Activision right now, and it's not the game itself, because of course this game in general, overall, I'm probably end up going to give it a 10 out of 10, because it's Spyro, the graphics are completely redone, the voice actors, the cutscenes, they are all completely redone from the ground up. So I'm going to give Spyro the Reignited Trilogy a more than likely a 10 out of 10, because I gave it a 10 out of 10 as soon as the day that they announced that it was coming out back on April 13th of 2018. But the bad thing about this is that everybody is complaining that, you have to, if you buy the disc or you pre-order the disc and all that stuff, it still requires you to download Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, as well as, like I was saying, to Ripto's Rage. But That's the bad thing, because if you're buying a disc and all that stuff, that's what it's actually going to, that's what Activision had planned for the game, which they didn't do that with the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. So it doesn't surprise me that it technically does surprise me is what I meant to say, that they actually didn't do that with the Spyro trilogy. I mean, because if you think about it, like I said in my last video, like not a lot of people still out there has internet. There still is quite a bit of people that does not have either internet or has super slow internet, and these games are like over 30 to like 100 gigabytes, like especially Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is like 50 gigabytes, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is double the amount of that. It's like 100, and it's close to 100 on the base PlayStation 4 and the base Xbox One at around 90 to and around between 87 to 90 gigabytes. So, yeah, it just blows my mind that they were able to fit all three Crash games on a disc, but yet they couldn't do that with Spyro. Even if you were to do it with like what Red Dead Redemption 2 is, like you'll get two copies of a disc. One will be the install disc to install all the data for that game, and then once you install it, you put the other disc in, and it's the game disc technically, and you can play as long as it's installed. Now, that's kind of like what I think they honestly should have done with the Spyro trilogy if they couldn't fit it all on one disc, or it had so much, it's so big like Red Dead 2 is that, it couldn't fit on one disc. That's what honestly Activision should have done. But anyway, guys, I am so freaking pumped up that this game has finally made its way to, it's finally available. And I pre-ordered it on both Xbox One and PlayStation 4 because I'm really a PlayStation and an Xbox person, and I'm so excited, because this game's out, and I'm probably going to end up playing it for the next several days until I at least beat all three Spyro games, or at least until I beat the first one for a while, and then I'll probably take a break or something, but I don't know. But all I know is that I've just been waiting for so long, and I'm just happy that it's now finally here. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comment section. If you are so happy that Spyro is now officially out, and also if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will keep you guys up to date with more gaming content for the future. And then also hit a like if you enjoyed the video and all that stuff. So rate, comment, and also subscribe, guys, and I will catch you guys later in the next one.